Hello, you're welcome back to my channel. So I'll be showing you how to make a shirt collar. Okay, so this is the shirt I've been making so far. I've inserted the sleeves and I worked on the button stand. Now I'll leave the link below of this tutorial, okay, of how to make a shirt. So this video, I want it to be a basic video for me that I can refer to for shirt collar. So now this is the neckline and I'll have to measure what we have. So to make the shirt collar, you measure from the button stand. You'll be measuring it from this one to the next. So measuring this, I have 20 and a half, and so I'll cut that on a collar stay. First of all, we'll do the under collar first and then we get to the main collar. So this is the collar stay and it has the front part, that's the gum part, and the back side. Okay, so I'll fold this into two. First of all, we are cutting the under collar. Now the under collar goes from the one button stand to the next button stand, and measuring the circumference of the neckline we have on the shirt, we have 20 and a half inches. So I'll divide that 20 and a half inches by 2. I'll divide it by 2, and half of it is 10 1/4. So exactly that is what I'll measure. I'll cut on the collar stay. So I'll first of all get the height of the under collar. Now the height of the under collar for one button stand, for one button, is 1 1/4. Now if you want to make it 2 buttons, there are some shirts that have 2, even up to 3, those ones we see in male shirts. But if a female shirt wants to have two buttons, you add half inch to that 1 1/4. That makes it 1 3/4. So that will be the height. But for this one, I want to make it for one button stand. So I'll just measure 2 inches downward just to give me more space to work on the collar, and then I'll draw a straight line. Okay, so I like to use this paper instead. Okay, so I'll just draw a straight line from here. I need to keep some space up here. Now on this straight line, I'm placing a half of what we measured from the neckline. So I'm placing 10 1/4 here, and I'll measure the height of 1 1/4. And I'll draw a straight line. I'll connect this dot. I'll connect this dot and then link the length to the upper one. So we have that now. So this is an under collar, this is an under collar. So I'll go upward with 1/4 inch, and then I'll measure backward from the length. I'll measure backward 3 inches, and then I'll connect this 1/4 to the 3 inches I marked backward, and this will be for our under collar. So this is our under collar, and I'll cut this under fabric and use half inch all the way around. So this is the length of it. So for the main collar has to be 1 inch lesser than the length of the under collar. So the under collar we use 10 1/4. So when we subtract 1 inch, we'll have 9 1/4. So I'll first of all rule a line. And then on this line, I'll measure the 1 1/4, the 9 1/4. Remember, at this point, we're not adding any inch, any allowance. So we have that, and I'll measure 2 1/4 as the height of the main collar. 2 1/4. connecting these dots, I'll then link the height, the length of the first line to the length of the second line. Now, unlike the under collar, at this length I'll go downwards with 1/4 inch and backward with 3 inches. So I'll connect this to this point. I'll connect the 3 inches to the 1/4 inch slantly, and then extend the height and then cut out. So we have the under collar here, okay, and the main collar. So you can do well to notch the midpoint of this. So spraying this out, this is what we have. So from the midpoint here, we have 1 inch less. So when you're cutting it on the fabric, you add 1/2 inch all round. Now before I cut it on the fabric, I'll add an interface. I want to use a stick to the interface. Okay, so this is it. This is the collar, this is the under collar and the main collar. Notice that on the main collar I did not leave up to 1/2 inch here. That's because we'll just be sewing this here, and then I will insert it to the under collar before I complete the sewing. So now I will have to make a facing for this. Okay, I had to make this on the right side so you will see the difference. Okay, so now I'll get the facing for the main collar and the facing for the under collar. So I've made the facing for the two collars, the under collar and the main collar. Okay, now we'll work on the main collar first. Okay, so remember we added 1/2 inch, so we'll just sew 1/2 inch all around. So I want us to notice that if this was supposed to be on, if we drafted the collars on a collar stay, just know that the edges of it will just be the main fabric without any interface. So the main collar will just be the normal collar measurement, and then the 1/2 inch for the sewing will just be the fabric itself. Okay, so right now I had to add interface to the fabric first before I used the draft to cut out with the allowances. So I'll just sew out the 1/2 inch that I added all round. Okay, we'll turn it and stop stitch. Sewing the main collar like this, you can choose to trim out some excess here, just to make sure that the edges will come, the corners will come out well. Okay, and then you bring it out from here. Where it doesn't come out very well, you can use pin to just pick it a little until you have your corners. So you do the same thing to this side. I will now top stitch on one part. Top stitch and ironed. Okay, so I'll bring it to the under collar now. Now the under collar, if you need to bring back the draft just for you to know which part goes under. Okay, so this part will go under. Okay, it will go to the collar, the neckline of the shirt. So now we'll notch the midpoint. I like to notch both the up and down. Okay, knowing that this part goes down, I'll bring the up part to the midpoint. I'll notch the main collar as well. So when I'm done with that, I'll bring the up part. Knowing that this part is the down part, I'll bring the up part, midpoint to midpoint, and I'll bring this one as well, the midpoint to midpoint. You can do well to pin. So I'll sew it this way, sew it. Remember, we added extra 1 inch for the under collar, so I'll sew it down using ½ inch, okay, and this way too. So sewing ½ inch this way, you will turn it inside out and make sure your corners come out well, and then you will note the part you top stitch. That part is, that part is the one that will be under, when you bend the collar. Okay, so, and this is the part that you sew to the neckline of the shirt. So this part will just be like a facing for the under collar. So what I will do now is to take it to the ironing board and iron ½ inch. I'll sew down ½ inch, okay, all the way around, all the way to the next button stand. I'll make it ½ inch, and that part will be the one facing the front. So I've sewn it, okay, the ½ inch, and so at this point I'll bring in the shirt, and on the neckline I'll bring the part that I did not sew the ½ inch. I'll bring it to the back side, right side of the fabric, facing the right side of the fabric, and then you pin, and I'll be sewing it all the way from that midpoint to the button stand. Ensure that everything comes in, and then when I've gotten everything intact, I will now use this part that I iron in the ½ inch, and I will sew in very close to the edge here, just to keep it in place.